we're talking about gaining intuition, perspective, being able to read difficult situations clearly, and what can get in the way of that. And I want to follow up just at the end of our last segment. Peter, you had a provocative question, and I'm going to ask it to you because I think we want to have the answer. You said that, and I know this is true, that when we are in the middle of very difficult situations or crises, we do want to get to a better place inside ourselves. We don't want to be just broiling with emotions. We want to get to a more stable place and be able to be ourselves. And you were saying that caregivers have experience with having to make this shift from being very intensely emotionally charged to be able to shift from anger, fear, sadness to compassion, caring, loving, nurturing, and being able to be there for someone who is depending on them.
Yeah.
How do they do that? And these are not a long question answer period. So what can you say that will help people listening?
Okay, first of all, not all caregivers are doing that. And we work with a lot of caregivers, and what we found is we know what the ideal is, and we want to train more caregivers on how to be more resilient, because they don't all stay nourishing, empathetic. They begin to get resentful, and they burn out. And what causes that? They don't know how to deal with their own emotional lives. They don't know where they are, and they may have started with compassion and caring and wanting to fix others, but after a while, the situations they've gone through and go through begins to register on their bodies and their nervous systems, and they have this cumulative effect of tension and stress that they take out on themselves, on their families, on their teammates, and it's not good. What we would encourage those folks to do, first of all, we got to help them diffuse all that backed up emotion and pain before it turns physical. And we've seen caregivers, too many of them, deteriorate physically because they've pent up with so much stress, and they're hard workers, most of them, that we've met. And you'll see after a while their bodies begin to break down. They begin to develop high blood pressure, strokes. They drink a lot. They'll do drugs. Their family lives fall apart, all because they don't know how to deal with the stresses of being involved in very difficult situations. They're helping people in very dangerous situations. They're helping people who are very sick, people who are dying. They're going to help people come to the end of their lives. Very, very tough stuff. And nobody's questioning their desire to help, because they're the people that are on those front lines. I think what's more important, though, is how to preserve themselves and how to learn how to take care of themselves emotionally, physically, spiritually, energetically. And it's basically learning the same skills that we're emphasizing today with the public. And it's for these folks to learn how to deal with themselves in a more constructive way. We call it self-care. We know that it has to go a lot farther than what we've seen caregivers of all kinds do. We also know that they reach a breaking point too. They're human too. And as much good as they may be doing, they're being challenged and confronted with so much really tough stuff that after a while it takes them down. Anybody, that's any of us. But they have to know how to recover. They have to know how to find their resilience and how to transform that stress and pain into something that will give them an ability to come back even better.